The first television show that you were actually on, without building us up in any way, did we make any difference to your career?
Yeah, I should say so. We had 3 major breaks with the band. First one was Julie Birchall from the NME wrote a piece about us 1 week after the group formed, which was fantastic, got us into public notice. Second, London Weekend Show had us on and we allowed us to play 2 numbers, right, for an unsigned band. That was great. And third, getting the record deal and Motorway released, and that being a hit, that was the 3rd major break.
How have you managed over the last few months to reconcile your political beliefs, and you're a very outspoken person, with having hit records? I mean, have you had to keep your mouth shut at certain times, or are there times when you've had to compromise?
Yeah, you always got to compromise anyway. Because,
I mean, are you learning as you go along?
You put Glad to Be Gay out, right, a year ago on TV. When it came down to Top of the Pops, they wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't let us play it. So we played another song off the same record, On Top of the Pops, because in that case I felt the means justified the end, definitely. Because at least people had a chance to know there was a record out, and then they could go and buy it and hear it for themselves, and we managed to chart the record at 18. And if that meant a compromise of accepting a different song for Top of the Pops, well, we had to do it.
But when it comes down to things like that, does it depress you that perhaps attitudes aren't changing as fast as you would like?
I'll tell you, the thing that depresses me most is the fact that attitudes from our own side aren't changing and are too rigid, and people are all too ready to point the finger and say, you're sold out.
I mean, what
have you ever done?
Yeah.
Is the answer, you know? Like, do better. We've got to, like, get it together on our own side. We've all got to fight together. There's no point us knocking bands like Sham and The Clash, because they're fantastic. They're doing great stuff, and Bethnal. And we're all on the same side, and we're all in it together. And let's cut out all the infighting. That's the thing that depresses me most.
One thing that having hit records has done for you is increase your audience in a way that people are coming to see you now who would never have seen you or known about you before. They might have seen you on TV. But now when you play live, you're getting lots of teenagers, lots of people who aren't really interested in the political message that you're trying to put across.
Yeah, and the big trap is that you're going to fall into, is starting to respond to those people in the traditional manner, whereby they're looked down on, they're exploited. Rock fans are absolutely sheer grist to the mill. They're always bottom in the line. They never get to receptions. They never get the free records. They never get any of the stuff that the people in the business, the elite, get. They're just herded into the halls, fleeced of their money, and herded out again. Always last on the line is the rock fan. And it doesn't matter if they're 14 years old or 40, what the hell, they still always get on the bottom of the pile, terribly exploited. And I think they're always put very low on people's priorities, and that's really bad.